Hello everyone and welcome to the show. I'm your host Monkey J, and today we've got some very important news to report for anyone looking to start college soon. Today we're going to talk about the suspicious enrollment activities of post-university. I'm going to start that over. Hello everyone and welcome to the show. I'm your host Monkey J, and today we've got some very important news to report for anyone looking to start college soon. Today we're going to talk about the suspicious enrollment activities of post-university. Post-university has recently come under fire for its questionable advertising and enrollment practices. The university's advertising page, which shows up at the top of a Google search for post-university, degrees.post.edu, provides no information about the costs of classes, tuition fees, or other expenses associated with attending the university. Instead, potential students are directed to provide their personal information, including their name, phone number, and email address, which then triggers a call or text from an admissions advisor. This advisor, who is really more a sales associate, rushes the potential student into filling out an admissions application without fully disclosing the costs or structure of the program. So right now I'd just like to point out this is the landing page for post-university's ad campaign with Google. If you search post-university, the very first thing that pops up is this ad campaign website. Now if you scroll down further, you can find post.edu, the regular website, and I want you to see the difference between these two. This site seems to have, this page for the ad campaign seems to have, all the right things here, sure, right? But if you look over here, it's got financial aid button and apply now for free and find your program and all these great options, right? But what it doesn't have is this actual pull down here for tuition and financial aid with links to the actual cost of tuition and fees and even a net price calculator. It's funny that the two are separated actually, but hey. So the ad campaign, rather than just take someone straight to post.edu that contains all the real information that someone should have when looking for a college and calculators to help you determine what the actual costs are going to be, the ad campaign takes you to a host of pages that service up all the other information without mentioning at all any of the costs and just directing you to apply now and go get your financial aid package as soon as possible. Post-university has the admissions advisor glosses over the details of the program, urging the potential student to apply for financial aid without giving a clear picture of the costs associated with attending the university. You see in the trend here? The advisor will suggest that the student apply for the Pell Grant and both subsidized and unsubsidized loans through the studentaid.gov website, providing a link for the potential student to follow. Throughout the process, the admissions advisor will remain in contact with the enrolling student, pushing them to complete the FAFSA forms and obtain their FAFSA confirmation number as soon as possible. Within 48 hours of filling out the application, the admissions advisor will reach out to the new student, informing them that their method of payment has been approved, and scheduling calls with both the advisor and the financial aid office. This lack of transparency and rushed approach to the enrollment process raises serious concerns about the university's priorities and the well-being of its students. The impact of these practices can be significant, as students who sign up for the program without fully understanding the costs and responsibilities they are taking on can find themselves in a difficult financial situation down the line. With the high cost of tuition and student loan debt on the rise, it is crucial for universities to provide clear and accurate information about their programs and the costs associated with attending. In this piece, we'll delve deeper into the practices of post-university and their impact on students. We'll hear from a former student who has experienced the university's enrollment process firsthand. Yeah, that's me. We'll explore the broader context of predatory practices in higher education and the efforts underway to protect students from being taken advantage of by universities. In a time when the cost of higher education is becoming increasingly burdensome, it is more important than ever to shine a light on the institutions that are taking advantage of our students. Through this piece, we aim to raise awareness about post-university practices and call for increased transparency and accountability in higher education. The reality for many students who enroll at post-university soon becomes much different from what was promised by their admissions advisor. The first financial document with which new students are presented is an awards letter, which clearly shows how the student's financial aid is split down 2 columns for 2 semesters, such as spring and summer. However, the student will soon learn that the structure and costs are really split differently for online students. In fact, Post's online courses are split into 4 8-week terms for the year rather than semesters. Students are allowed to take a maximum of 2 classes per term, and Post requires 2 initial mandatory classes in the first term. These classes are very generic. They're stuff that most people who are younger than 30 should have probably learned in middle school. I think it's also worth noting that no admissions testing of any kind is conducted by Post before allowing enrollment. Post University will accept anyone who can get a financial aid package. Each class is 3 credit hours, and each credit hour costs $599, which you can find on the regular Post.edu website under the tuition and fees and net price calculator pages. This adds up to a staggering $1,797 per class. In addition to this cost, students are also charged a $90 per class electronic course material fee to pay for the books freely available on OpenStax. There is also an additional $50 tech fee for each term, bringing the total cost to $1,937 per class. A full-time online student at Post will take 2 courses each term for a total cost of $3,644 per term. The electronic course material fee is waived for full-time students. However, Post only refunds the student 1/4 of the remaining refund of their total financial aid package each term. A student with a $16,000 financial aid package will receive a total refund of $430 per term to help cover other expenses while attending college full-time. This means that the yearly fees for a full-time online student at Post total $14,576, leaving the student with only about 10% of a $16,000 package to cover living expenses, and that amount split into quarterly payments. Furthermore, students who request a laptop from Post are charged an additional cost of nearly $400 in their first term, leaving them with less than $40 for other expenses. This kind of stuff leaves many students struggling to make ends meet and forced to take out more loans or work multiple jobs just to survive. The high costs and lack of transparency from Post University are a prime example of predatory practices in higher education and a clear warning for anyone considering enrolling at the institution. Now, I'm doing this live, and that makes things a little bit raw and dirty. I know that. But some of this information is extraordinarily important at this point, and I really believe it needs to be shared. I just looked on the Post mobile app just a few minutes ago before I started broadcasting, And one of the very first posts I saw in the student forums was this right here. In capital letters, Miss Jamira Johnson says, "I believe this school is running a financial aid scam. That's number one on the list of scams that schools pull because they're asking way too much for mediocre classes." And that's very true. The first classes are just as insanely basic as you can ask. I took a test, and one of the questions was, which icon is the Chrome browser icon? I don't know how. What do you do with that? So I've already actually uh, made uh, some screenshots of some other posts from other people uh, at Post University or who have been attending Post University right now, and I want to share these with you guys too. Give me just a moment to bring them up. I'm going to switch this source up real quick to the gallery. Okay. So one girl wrote, "I went to a community college and my refund was way more. I just figured it was because of the convenience of being online." Well, in fact, online college it costs much less, and it costs much less to do it, to provide the classes. So there's no reason that it should cost more to attend online. Uh, Mine said I was getting two payments, but turns out I'm only getting $121. That's Amanda Atkinson right now. You know, Caitlin Atkins. I'm in debt to my fucking $30,000, and I'm getting $39. When has it? I definitely thought my refund would have been a little more than what it is since I'm not on campus or in dorms. I'm damn near confused. Caitlin Atkins, robbery, that's what it is. You know, they actually stopped me from posting to the student forums because I posted some of my own thoughts. A teacher actually wrote to me discussing these extraordinarily basic class. Oh, shoot. What did I do? Okay. Oops. Pulled up the wrong thing. Okay. That's not helpful. What is happening right now? Sorry for the technical difficulty, folks. Alright. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Yeah, see, they stopped allowing me to post or comment or even send private messages on the Post University mobile app. So I got an email the other day from one of my teachers informing me that I was standing out from others in this course. And I couldn't help but write back that I hadn't studied at all. I seriously had not studied at all. I wasn't reading any of the texts. I was just crashing through the classwork. It's ridiculously simple. You don't have to think about it because you do things like that every day when you go to school or pick up your laptop or your phone. And I said, "I haven't studied at all. These classes are a joke, and I would like to complete the term at my own pace. I have no desire whatsoever to continue with Post. I've already filed my withdrawal papers for the end of the term." I said a few other things. But I screenshotted that, her message and my reply, and I posted that to the Post community student forums. And they locked me out because so many people were replying. They had been hurt by this school. People have been hurt by this school. Everyone waiting for the money to come in. In my experience with with financial aid. You usually get financial aid, before you start classes to make sure that you can make it to school and have everything you need for school. I I want mine too. I need to buy groceries. I was told I would only receive $39 as my first payment. I don't even remember it taking this long to receive a refund check when I was a freshman in college in 2019. Well, I just unenrolled from this school. They with the shit. It's too expensive, and at the end of it, it'll be pay well over $20,000. So no, no, thank you, Post. Keep it all. Lies, 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 they tell. I'll take the penalty I've received. Anything so. Good morning. I haven't yet to even receive an approval for financial aid. Post has enrolled me and hasn't until a week ago asked for proof of my GED or diploma. They say that is why what's holding up my aid refund. My question is, how can I be taking classes and they don't even have proof I've graduated high school? So will I have to pay for something they shouldn't have let me begin, or who should I contact? Seriously, this is so bad. People asking how to file their withdrawal. And why wouldn't they be calling the school to ask these questions? I'll tell you what, the hardest part about school at post.edu is the horrible user interface for students. For the courses, for the classes, it is so bad. It is so ugly and weird and awkward and requires this pop up and that pop up. It's the ugliest system. That's the most difficult part about the classes. Honestly, I like it, but I don't know if it's a scam or not. I'm nervous. I don't want to waste my time here. I keep hearing, yeah, well, I guess you've heard bad things. Disbursement didn't come, but I mean, it's $431. I've been to school before, and granted, it was a community college. This thing was split into trimesters, um, rather than 4 terms or 2 semesters. I went to Kalamazoo Valley Community College, and my first semester I took 12 credit hours, and after paying for the 12 credit hours and paying for all of my real books, I still went home with almost $1,400 for that trimester, for that part of the year, for 1/3 of the year. So how is it that an online school, out of not just a Pell Grant, but a Pell Grant and a subsidized loan, a maximum subsidized loan, and a maximum unsubsidized loan, how is it that a person uh, only ends up with $431 per quarter of the year? And why isn't this information made available right on your ad campaign web pages? Why do you have to go to other pages in order to find that information? You need to provide some answers, Post. You need to make some changes. You really do. mean, just looking at some of these posts, it is so bad. People have been enrolled who can barely write a coherent sentence. Some people, I'm not sure, are capable of writing a coherent sentence, and yet they get into post-university. I started attending Post. Uh, I signed up for Post on a day when I was a huge mess. My fiance and domestic partner passed away last February, and for the last year, I have had tremendous difficulty. That is not what I wanted to open. I've had tremendous difficulty with depression and anxiety and PTSD and social anxiety. I've started to keep myself to myself more and more. I recently started seeing a shrink because trying to take care of it for a year, doing manual labor and trying to work myself into a stupor every day so that I just go to bed, that wasn't really working out. Oops. What did I do? Did I open the gallery back up again? Why am I doing that? Post University, please. There we go. Okay. Now we've got it. This here. No, why? What is happening? Oh, I think I need to do this. Go here now. Sorry guys, I know I'm being a little rough and dirty. I haven't actually even taken a shower yet today. I felt like I needed to share this as soon as possible and on as many channels as I can get working, to be real. So let's go digging a little deeper here into the community forums for post-university. Right there, number 3 post. She's right up there. People are tripping. They feel like they've been had. My last post isn't even far down the list. Dude, I'm Lindsay, I'm 39 and I'm a mom of 5. I'm getting a degree in management. It's not been easy so far. Life is tough. Please, I need your assistance. My rent is off and I'll be homeless soon. Ever since I lost my husband, I lost everything. I've sold out almost everything I've got just to pay up my rent. I don't want to be homeless, at least for my kids. Please, I need every assistance I can get to help me continue my education in good health and with my kids. My rent is $3,700 and I'm late 3 months now. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I have no other choice. I've been cleaning and working overtime to get my bills up and keep a huge smile on the faces and heart of my kids. Moms, you all should understand better. Story of my life right now. This just... How is that possible when we have to get the grant, the subsidized loan, and the unsubsidized loan to go to school? The common sense understanding is that you will have money to help subsidize your living expenses. $431 doesn't pay a month of rent for most of us. Not 1 month. And in an 8-week period, you've got 2 months of that minimum rent, plus internet expenses, electricity, propane, natural gas. These are all expenses that somebody has to cover. The gas to get to and from the grocery store. You might have to buy groceries. So, first and foremost, people should know exactly how much money it's going to cost to attend school, exactly how much money they can expect for a refund, especially when it's that little. Like you're providing the student with nothing to get by on while they go to school full time. It's just unconscionable, really. Let's go this way, it's easier. A little confused, and maybe someone here can help. I was told I would be getting one amount in my disbursement, but see a completely different amount in my student account. When I check the amount on receipts, it says more than what was applied. Why? What are disbursement dates for this school? Yeah, I just, this is sloppy. Very, very sloppy. And it's intentional. They intend. Other people complain about not being able to get a hold of anybody on the phone. They call and email. Email is very frustrating. And I saw emails yesterday show up finally only in my student email, not in my personal email, even though the school has it and it's attached to everything. They don't come to my personal email, but I got these emails finally that showed up in my student account that they were really worthless. Like, I'm like, what are you guys doing? When do we get our financial aid? What has happened here? How does it end up costing so much? And why is there such a huge discrepancy between how the awards letter is structured and how the actual costs and fees are divvied up? Just really unbelievable. And it's not an oversight. These things are not an oversight. Which one is this? Oh, that's that one. This was a very long thread here the other night. People are very, very upset. They're very upset with post-university and its practices. I actually found post-university when I was a crying, bawling mess, freaking out about my finances one day. And I mean freaking out. And I got some advertisement for something called the Holiday Relief Fund. And in a manic state, I clicked on that, in a manic and desperate state. And I went through their little survey on their website, and it asked me if I had diabetes and if I needed help with filing for Social Security disability, and I probably do, but I have not even gone there yet. It's been hard enough for me to accept that I need to attend therapy, that I can't just continue to melt down inside my own cocoon and watch the bills pile up. I can't. I just don't know how to leave the house sometimes or act like a normal person anymore without getting insanely emotional. And so anyways, the Holiday Relief Fund gave me an advertisement for post-university. And that advertisement sent me to their Google ad web destination here, this degrees.post.edu, that does not provide any information about the tuition and the costs and fees associated with attending college online through Post University. It instead tries to push you to apply as soon as possible and then to apply for as much financial aid as you can possibly get. And then Post University takes as much as they can possibly take. Yes. And some of the people who are hanging on to this school in the comments, this gentleman here, if you read the things that he posted over and over again, it's apparent that he's being supportive of the school, but he cannot write sentences that make any sense. That he uses words in places that don't make sense. He puts punctuation in places that don't make sense. It's very strange. I almost wondered if he was some kind of bot. And yes, I've decried the school very much because I feel that these practices are extremely inappropriate. I did not know the actual amount of my refund. I looked at this awards letter that I received, and which was the only document that gave any financial breakdown. I looked at that, and then I did a Google search for post.edu. I finally found the post.edu website and saw that the difference between degrees.post.edu, the advertisements, and post.edu, the actual school portal. And I found the tuition that way. I found the costs that way. And when I initially did my math, I looked at the numbers in the two columns as they were separated, assumed that I was going to have to request another set of loans before the middle of the year to start the next 2 semesters. The way it looked to me, there was a spring semester and a summer semester on there, and it split my money down those two columns. So I took that information and I added up the costs for the credit hours, and then I added up for 2 classes, and then I added in the electronics fee and the tech fee. And I said, okay, well, I've got a substantial chunk of money to work with at the end of the day here. That's going to be great. And then, on a whim, because it seemed like I'd already started classes. I was about a week into classes, and I kind of started to wonder when it was that my refund was going to come, because I've already started classes, and I haven't received any refund. And a new document shows up on the university portal, my student page, which I can't get into now, by the way, which breaks down things a little bit differently into terms or whatever. So I call financial aid while I'm driving. I've got earbuds in, so I call financial aid while I'm driving. And I ask them, when is it that my financial aid is going to finally come in? I just drove an hour to go get my new glasses, or to go get an optometry exam so I could get my new glasses. And I couldn't even buy new glasses. I had to just take whatever the insurance provided. I couldn't even have them ship them to my house because I didn't have any money in my pocket to do that. So I thought I'd call financial aid and find out, when is this financial aid package going to come. And So I talked to the guy, and he's like, "Oh, it won't actually arrive until early February." Now he doesn't give me a date; he just says early February, which is interesting because you later find out that it's 30 days from the day that classes started. So the classes started on the 9th, so your disbursement happens on the 9th of February. That's all he had to do was tell me that. Instead, he said in the beginning of February. And I'm like, well, okay, that's really inconvenient. It seems like it should have already arrived, but all right. And then on a whim, I asked him how much my refund would be. I wanted to verify my math. And this is when I'm told $431. Now I'm in the car, and I'm very upset. I think he's made a mistake, but I'm very upset to hear this. And I asked him to verify what he said because it should have been several $1,000s based on the awards letter and the information I found on tuition and fees. I had not yet discovered this that the terms were were were, uh, were a quarter of the year. Okay, so you've got one document that says that you're in your money's going toward these 2 semesters, spring and summer, and then there's another set of accounting that says actually that money's split across the entire year into these 4 chunks, and we charge this amount for each of these 4 chunks, and what you end up with is 10% split into quarterly payments at the end of the day. That's just mind-blowing to me. It cost almost $15,000 to attend online classes at post-university that are that use freely available OpenStack books for the course materials, and videos that are either student projects or just very low budget projects made by faculty without any real clear understanding of production value. You can see them online. You can find them on Vimeo, and you can find them on YouTube. It's just crazy, guys. So, end of the day yesterday, after raising hell, and I admit I raised hell. I raised hell with staff, and I raised hell on the community forums. I felt that it was kind of appropriate, seeing once again that so many people were experiencing the same sort of issue that I was. That all of a sudden we kind of got talked into signing up. Somebody's in a desperate situation, and they're looking for some financial help, and they think, oh, I can go back to school, and not only will I be able to go back to school, but I'll be able to pay for some of my living expenses while I'm going to school because I'll be attending online, and that's inexpensive. And they're using resources that are free. So why would it be expensive to go there? You should have a nice chunk of change if you take out all your loans and your grant. Especially for anybody who's been to school before and it's only cost them the Pell Grant to go to a brick and mortar college. And it seems insane to me. And they know what they're doing. Post University knows exactly what they're doing. The advertisement post or degrees.post.edu, the Google ad, is designed to not discuss the costs, but only gets you to hurry up and apply, enroll as a student, and get your financial aid package. Get the maximum financial aid package you can get, and hurry up. Let's do this. I don't know. I'm sure I've got more to say, and I've got a lot more stuff to share, but I haven't even taken a shower yet this morning. I've been dinking with this, just feeling very frustrated. I accept some responsibility. I made a huge mistake. I was in a very, very desperate and sad state of emotion and mind, and I clicked on a link that took me to a place that I probably should have known better about. Their new advertisement takes you to the American Hope Education page, whatever this is. I'm not sure. It seems to have taken it. You go into a different spot, and you. Actually, this might have been the direction that it led me. So it went from Holiday Relief Fund to the American Hope Education page. Do you see the rabbit hole here? And from here, I ended up at Post University, but not post.edu, degrees.post.edu. And when I put my information in here, a few minutes later I got text messages and calls from advisors trying to sign me up. And yes, she did go over the costs in a minimalistic way. She said that each class was $1,797 and there are 8-week terms. She didn't mention how many 8-week terms. She didn't mention the breakdown. She never mentioned total costs. And a lot of it was done over the phone conveniently rather than over text message, which I thought was interesting too. I'm like, it seems like you would have shared more information by text, so we both had documented evidence of the conversation. But I'm sure that these people are paid on a commissions basis. They're paid to haul in as many students as possible with maximum financial aid packages, so that Post University can grab up 90% of the package and leave them living with nothing. Leave them forced to work at least one job in this economy. Educational institutions can do better. Post is not an educational institution. Post is it's a financial aid scam. That's really what it is. They're taking a maximum of premium charge. They're charging their students a premium for courses that are overly simplistic and that are taught with OpenStack's free books and janky videos. And I don't know how that could ever be an acceptable practice. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your day. I hope that I've helped somebody. I know this was kind of dirty and choppy, and I'm a little rambly. I'm your host, Monkey J.